and cold temperatures to start off your Thursday. Good morning, Michiana. I'm ABC 57 meteorologist Monica Ott with your first warning neighborhood weather. We are helping you plan out your day and looking ahead to some rising temperatures, a taste of spring for the end of the work week. All the details coming up. ABC 57 News at 6:30 continues now.
Covering South Bend, Elkhart, and all of Michiana. This is ABC 57 News at 6:30.
This morning, a family is without a home after a fire hydrant breaks in front of their house, flooding the surrounding neighborhood. I'm Eric Stelter, coming up what firefighters are doing to fix the problem.
And breaking overnight, medics rushed the driver of this van to the hospital after he loses control and somersaults into a crash landing. Also, the world's 1.2 billion Catholics have a new leader this morning. Straight ahead, a look at what's next for Pope Francis. Good Thursday morning. Thank you for joining us here at ABC 57 News. I'm Keitha Nelson. It is cold outside, folks. You're going to want to grab your gloves, scarf, hat, the works. For a quick look at how the rest of your day will shape up, we're going to check in now with ABC 57 First Warning Neighborhood Meteorologist Monica Ott.
Thanks, Keitha. And we are off to a very cold start. You will need to allow a little bit of extra time to scrape off the car. You're probably going to want to warm it up as well before you get in if it's been parked outside. Most of us starting off the day in the low 20s, factoring in the winds, it feels more like the teens. We will watch as temperatures climb above freezing by noon, climbing towards 38 degrees by the afternoon, but clouds will be increasing. We can't rule out a little bit of light rain and snow before the day is done, especially in our southern counties. But overall, it is going to be a fairly quiet day. We'll be tracking some rising temperatures for your Friday and have a look ahead to the weekend with your exclusive 10-day forecast in just a few minutes. Keitha?
Right now, homeowners in St. Joseph County are trying to soak up 3 hours worth of non-stop water flow. Check out this video. What a waste. Overnight, a hydrant broke, sending water shooting into the street. It happened just before 11 Wednesday night at the intersection of East and Haynes Avenue. That's where ABC 57's Eric Stelter is standing by live this morning. Eric, fill us in. What are the families planning to do at this point?
Well, good morning, Keith. I just talked to the homeowner out here. He was out here about 10 or so minutes ago, just left the area. He says he just bought this house nearly 3 months ago, and now he's going to try to turn to the city for help to see exactly what they can do. He also says that he has no insurance on the house or the property, so you can see why he's really hoping something happens. This flooding out here did quite a bit of damage. You can see from the video we shot earlier this morning. According to a worker at Mishawaka Utilities, the reason it took so long was because they couldn't figure out how to stop all the water pressure. Eventually they did a few hours later, but then it was too late. The house, yard, and street was flooded. Also, the neighbor's yard had some very minor flooding out there. The owner of the house didn't want to speak on camera, but he did say that he does have plans to try to get back into his house. Right now, they're just wondering exactly who's going to take responsibility for the damage and when they can move back inside. Reporting live in St. Joseph County, Eric Stelter, ABC 57 News.
All right, thanks for that update, Eric. And breaking overnight, right now, a driver is recovering from a late-night crash in Penn Township. It happened just before midnight at the intersection of Capitol Avenue and Douglas Road. Here's some video from the scene. It was taken around 12:15 this morning. Officers tell us only one car was involved in this rollover. There it is, right on the side. This is actually a truck. It looks like an SUV. Now, the driver was taken to Memorial Hospital with minor injuries. At this hour, police in upstate New York have a building surrounded. They believe Kurt Myers is inside. He's accused of shooting and killing 4 people Wednesday morning, leaving at least 2 others wounded at a local barbershop. Police say before the shooting, they believe Myers blew up his own house.
The day is not done, and it will not be done until Mr. Myers is apprehended, and we know for sure what has happened and what his condition is.
A number of schools were put on lockdown during the search for Myers. And a fire that started on a tugboat and barge Tuesday is still burning in Louisiana this morning. The U.S. Coast Guard says the fire will have to burn itself out. The flames are just too intense to extinguish. The captain of the tugboat suffered severe burns. At one point, flames shot into the air as high as 1,000 feet. The 47-foot tugboat was pushing an oil barge when it hit a submerged gas pipeline, causing an explosion. Crews are now working to clean up any leaking oil. After 5 ballots, the conclave of cardinals at the Vatican elected a new pope. Today, he'll preside over Mass with the cardinals at the Sistine Chapel for the first time as pope. Cardinal Jorge Bergoglio of Argentina is now Pope Francis. He's the first pope from outside Europe in modern history. Pope Francis is known as a humble and modest man with a passion for ministering to the poor.
I think it's kind of good that he's actually supporting not only people poor people from his nation, but also a lot of poor people from around the world.
The next couple of days promises to be a momentous series of firsts for Francis before his inauguration Tuesday at St. Peter's Square. And developing a homicide investigation is underway in New Albany. Police discovered the bodies of a woman and 2 children in a creek Wednesday afternoon. Officers say one of the kids was under the age of 2. The other child was an adolescent. The victims have not been identified and the cause of death has not been determined. A double murder trial is expected to wrap up in South Bend today. 29-year-old Brandon Biffle is accused of murdering Johnny Avanch and Don Paris last August. It happened on Olive Street during what's being described as a shooting rampage. Wednesday, the defense claimed Biffle was insane when the shooting took place. The judge said it will take her at least 1 week to decide on a verdict. This morning, an Elkhart woman who's no stranger to the court system is facing drug charges. Officers arrested Cassandra Taylor for possession of marijuana with intent to deliver. She's also charged with possession of a handgun by a violent felon. Taylor has had a long history of crime dating back to the 1990s. Police believe these 2 young men are behind a Michiana gas station robbery. Officers caught up with South Bend natives Derek Bishop and Anthony White in Berrien County. Michigan State Police pulled them over. That's when officers realized they matched the description of 2 men who robbed a BP gas station on M139 Wednesday. Officers found a weapon in the car that they say was used in that robbery. The Palisades nuclear power plant could be in trouble. According to Reuters, critics say the U.S. power company Entergy must deal with a potential issue involving the metal in the reactor vessel. If they don't fix the problem by 2017, it's possible Entergy will have to shut the reactor down. The U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission says the plant is safe for now. New this morning, investigators say they now know what led to a deadly explosion last month at JJ's restaurant in Kansas City, Missouri. It was caused by the accidental ignition of natural gas vapors that originated in the kitchen. Wow, there it goes. According to the report, the pilot light on a stove and hot water heater were still on when natural gas ignited. Investigators say the restaurant worker killed in the explosion was trapped when the roof collapsed. All right, your time is now 6:36, 21 degrees outside. President Obama continues his push for bipartisanship. Still to come, the latest on the budget battle and an update on the president's progress as he continues reaching out to opposing conservatives. Plus, a skydiver hits the ground at 30 miles an hour and lives to tell his story. The shocking video that will have you talking is just ahead.
Spring is less than a week away, but you will want to keep that winter coat this morning. We are starting off the day feeling like the teens. There is a chance for some wet weather before the day is done, and we are timing out the arrival of the rain and snow in your neighborhood after the break.